Alright, so I'm not really happy with this. So I made another grunge texture. I made it in Blender, just using the nodes. I tried to get it close as a result as possible to this grunge map right here, and I used this technique to make a tile. Anyway, this is the result, and if we replace our AO mask with this, we get a much better result for the AO dirt. So I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to copy these nodes, enter this, paste, and let's see, paste them. And I'm going to plug them into there. And there. Alright, so I think I need to invert that, and we'll just delete these. Now if we let's see how that worked out. Let's uninvert this so it's kind of easier to visualize. Alright, let's get rid of that. And now let's see the mix. So we just want to invert right here. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. See there. The roughness should probably be, or that's the spec, my bad. Yeah, okay, it's much more rough. And it adds a lot to the bump, so let's just turn that all the way off for now and preview this. And you can kind of see it now. It looks a lot better, but it's still kind of subtle. But it's not subtle on here, and I think that is due to like our, if we just look at the if we look at the AO, here it's like 100% white and here it's gray. So we should probably paint that out. So let's grab this and I want to change it to generated. And instead, let's paint the AO. So we'll delete that, copy this, paste it into here. And now we want to do a mix RGB. We just want to add 2 of this. Right, now if we go to our AO dirt mask and go to texture paint, change the single image, make sure we're on the right image, and now let's change to our texture draw brush. Come here. Alright, let's make sure we give this an option to preview. Right, so we are painting. We just want to make sure we overlay like that. Now if we view this, and we can paint that away, so let's grab a really soft brush like that, maybe a little bit harder, and start painting this away. So we must have had an object in our scene that was close to this when baking. So we probably should have checked that while I was baking, but whatever, it should be fine. Just make sure we're keeping it soft. Alright, same thing all over here. Can make this pretty hard, and basically we'll just erase some of this. Make it lighter. And let's make sure our brush is really soft. Just paint over that. And I definitely want to paint over these. Because right now they're really dark. Let's hit the edge. edge of that. Make sure we're really, really soft. Can just kind of hit some big splotches. Alright, and now make sure to save that image. I think we're in texturing working. Let's see how everything looks. We should probably tone it down up here and here. Same thing with here, so when it's inverted, you can kind of see how much more it's applying. So let's go back to texture paint. Alright, let's undo that. And let's just grab the receiver and duplicate it. And now just isolate it. And go into texture paint. Just want to hit it so there's not so much. Alright, let's turn to black and we can make that really soft. And let's actually grab our scratch brush, but turn off the stabilize stroke. Actually, I'll have to make another brush because that wasn't really what that was intended for. For now, we'll just keep going with text draw. Alright, so I definitely want it to be darker. So let's grab like a gray like that. Or actually a white because I want to erase. So just keep painting. Just try to get something that you're happy with. So we can set 2 colors. We can set like a black and then a white. See how that looks. Alright, and we just have alright, I think that's good. Let's see this. Okay, just let it load. So there's a problem right there. So let's go to texture paint. Just grab the soften. And let's view this texture. Okay, and just let's make sure this is, you know, not having all these hard transitions. So let's see. Not really sure how much. Let's see, is box stronger? Can hit it a lot. Let's change the stroke and the fall off to something sharper, so it's got more of an influence. Alright, and same thing over here. That's bad right there, so let's hit that a whole bunch. Turn up the radius. Alright, just let that catch up. And let's make sure we have this softened up too. Same with right here. Alright, just let that load. Hit it with a lot of strokes, so I'm going to change this back to Gaussian. I don't know if either one is faster, but let's make sure we save this image. And our scene. Now just blur some of that. Alright, same thing here. Okay. Yep, just keep hitting it with the blur. Alright, this area needs to be hit with a blur. Alright. Okay, same with this right there. Alright, same with this. And this line. Let's turn down the radius so we can kind of just concentrate on that area. Should also improve performance. Alright. Check for any more problem areas. And now let's preview our AO. That looks pretty good. If we invert it, looks good too. Alright. What did I just do? I'm gonna hit Control Z. Oh, I don't know what this is doing. Whatever. Alright, make sure this image is saved. Alright, our gun definitely looks more interesting now. With that AO, just like that AO dirt being much better. This is the while this is loading, or what is it doing? Scene world, is the world broken? What is happening? Anyway, while it's kind of spazzing out, this is the texture I made. I made it in Blender. I could probably... Okay, that's frozen, so I'll show you the node setup just to kind of wait for that. Are you serious? Where did it go? Let's see if I can find it. Alright, that is still loading. If we just change that to rendered mode, you can see what's going on. So what I did was, let me open up Krita. I took let's open this. I took this PNG and I wanted to like sort of be able to recreate this inside of Blender. So what I did is I went to filters, gmic, and I did split detail wavelets, and I just hit apply. Just let that do its thing. It'll create a bunch of new layers, and you want to set them all to overlay. And after you set them all to overlay, you'll have your original texture back, except for the bottom one. And then you can just go through by through. You can see how this texture is kind of made. So we just start with a big noise. This is just like the noise texture inside of Blender. And then we've got a little like noise with some streaks, so that's just kind of squished noise. And you can kind of see, like, yeah, there are some shapes that are not like able to be perfectly represented within Blender, but you can get a decent noise texture just by doing this technique. So you'll make all your noises, then you'll layer them just like this. And if you do that in Blender, alright, this is loaded, but I'll show you anyway. So let's change to Eevee, see if that's any faster. Okay, Eevee is actually slower. So this is 4 textures with, or 4 planes just duplicated. And if you use this node setup right here, you can just take a screenshot if you're interested. It's the same one from that Stack Exchange thread. It'll tile perfectly. So you can see what I did is I just did the big noise, little finer noise right there, overlaid them, got another noise overlay, another noise overlay, another one overlay, another one overlay, another one overlay, and then the final noise, and then you see that's how that texture was made. Okay, anyway, let's get back into texturing. This looks pretty good now. Let's save. Let's go to texture paint. All our images are saved. Oh, I know why this is freaking out. Because I changed my render engine to cycles to get some critique. Anyway, just set this back to Eevee. And I want that to be our thing. And I think that looks pretty good. This might be a little extreme, so we should probably paint that out. Let's do that. Go to texture paint. And we want to go to object. Preview this. Let's turn that off. Or if we turn it on, I don't know, it's just causing bugs. And let's make sure we're painting on the right image. We want to paint white on there, I guess. So let's change to our draw brush. And we'll just kind of paint that away. And you can see how just adding white will remove some, and adding black will add some. So let's hit some here. And just tone it down. Same thing with this, we should probably tone that down. Alright, now let's look at that result. Let's see, yeah, tone that down. And let's go to this. Alright, that looks good. So go back to object mode, make sure to save our image, and let's work on the magazine, because right now that has a really simple material. So I'm going to go to Picatinny on here. Let's open up our reference. Let me just get rid of that. I was asking for some critique. Where is our reference? Right here. That on top. Come to the magazine. Okay, where is the magazine? Alright. So, first thing I want to do is kind of make it less green. So we'll just drag the saturation. Turn it down quite a bit. That's better. And let's change, I don't know how this changed, but I want to change my color picker, so go to Edit Preferences. I think it's in Interface. Change. I like using square saturation value plus hue. That's kind of easier for me. Alright, and let's grab this Picatinny. So go to Picatinny, copy, and I think so on one of these references, let me see if I can find it. This magazine definitely has like strong metal edge wear, but this looks like a different magazine because you can see this spring through there. And in this one, it doesn't have that. So this one looks like a polymer or something, and then this is the metal. So we'll copy the Picatinny material onto this. So let's see, we'll wanna come over here and change to upper mag, and let's just paste. Let's go to default and make sure our things are color coded. That'll make it easier to find. Alright, and copy these. Go to upper mag. And let's just work on, oops. We'll work on replacing our input maps. Why won't that copy? 1, 2, 3, copy, paste. Alright. Go to slot 2, paste. Okay, let's actually undo because I accidentally deleted the normal. Or actually, let's redo. Alright, now normal to okay, we need to do a normal map. So okay, now we've got a blue input like we are supposed to have. Put this in there, same with that. Let's grab our, alright, that's fine. We're gonna have to repaint that, so just turn it off. Delete this and replace that. Directional scratch. Alright, so we need to delete this or just remove it. See how that's looking. Should be pretty obvious if we missed something. Yeah, okay, so we obviously missed something. I'm guessing in this edgeware. Alright, so let's just, that looks good. I think it's this edgeware layer that's broken. Alright, because, yeah, edgeware effect. So let's make this unique. We'll copy and paste. And what we could do is we could just make that an input like that. So now we can just grab the curvature map. That's should make it more like extensible. Something's not working though. Just turn that off. Why did that not work? Okay, let's paste it again. Oh, it's because we need an edge map. Right. Okay, so that gives us the edge map. That. What the heck? Alright, there we go. And then it multiplies. What is it multiplying? Let's just turn that off. And also, let's use a bigger one. And now alright, that kind of worked. We got some problems up there because of how it baked, because these are so close together, but it looks good right here. We should probably, on this multiply, re-enable that. Okay, now it looks better. Okay, so now let's view the material. Okay, and I have an idea, so to kind of fix this edgeware problem. Let's go back into our, I think this one, no, this one. Alright, and for our input map, we want to create a mix. So a mix. So let's do a mix between the small one and the large one. And we want it to be mostly the large one, so we'll just create flip these around actually, create a black mask. So let's call this mag edge wear mask, make it 4K. Okay, and then view this. So right now it's all the big one, right? Let's actually view it like this, or let's just view the output. Copy this, and let's go to texture paint. Okay, let it catch up. Make sure we're on the right map. Text draw. Okay, so change this to paint. We can paint, but our brush is really soft. Alright, let's come here. So black is the bottom one, and white is the top one. Alright, let's just make sure we're painting this whole thing. And let's turn on, we can just do this, we'll turn off occlude and backface call, and just anywhere on the top, just paint in full white, not half white. Alright, let's go to the front, make sure we're getting that too. Alright, now let's view the edgeware, and if we want we can just paint back up to like there. So we'll just paint like that, like that. Alright, now we got a pretty convincing metal edgeware. Let's look at the shader. Let's turn down this grunge and kind of scale it up. So I'm pretty sure that's this one. We'll scale it up to like 1. And let's see, this is the edgeware. And then what is this? This is another... Alright, so that just adds some roughness to those edges. And what does this do right here? This is nothing. This is from the old material, the Picatinny. Let's preview this. And I want to fix up these spots right here, so let's grab, where is it, edgeware effect, and now we want to do this multiply thing, but we want a new texture. Edgeware mask mag. Alright, now let's texture paint up, make sure to save that. Alright, now let's texture paint on this. Go to texture paint. Make sure we're on this. Alright, now we can just paint on these edges. But we don't want to paint there. Alright, let's just keep going. Alright, I think this is looking pretty good. I don't know what those black spots, they might be due to the bump. Anyway, let's draw on here. Okay, make sure we have occlude and backface call on. Forgot to turn those on, that's why we've got some, you know, some leakage. Yeah, get rid of that, because we want to paint this on manually. Alright, let's paint these edges. See if we can get something like that. Do the same thing on this side. Probably just hit that edge a little bit. Alright, that looks good. I don't know if the color is too strong or the roughness. I think it's probably the roughness. No, it's probably the color. Alright, that looks good. We could do some stamps to like enhance the edgeware. It could probably be 8-bit. Well, 16-bit, why not? Just save. So let's do some stamping. So we should just do that on the same edgeware. So what we can do is just move this layer over, and we'll just do this add, and let's clamp. Now we need a new image, and we'll call this edge stamps mag. Alright, we'll set that to linear. It doesn't really matter, but whatever. Alright, save. We want to texture paint on that, so let's go into texture paint. Or have the right UV map, and now let's grab a brush. You can see how we can kind of get a scratch on there. Let's get a scratch like kind of there. Could even turn down the strength. Let's rotate. I'm gonna add a big scratch. Alright, let's set down the strength. Maybe turn it up. Yeah, I don't really like how that looks. Let's try something like this. Let's try the triple scratch. Gives it some. I think that looks good. At least for now. Let's save this image. 16-bit. And let's put some kinda. Actually, pretty happy with this mag. So let's move on to the bottom of the mag. Just let everything load. Let me close out my preferences and save. And let's go to texture paint. I think all our images are saved. If we just, you know, make an edit, we can see the star. But let's undo that. Alright, make sure that's saved. Image. Save all images, so they're all already saved. Alright. Let's do the bottom of this magazine right now. So, I think I'm just going to copy this receiver material and then just kind of change the color a slight bit. So the only thing is this receiver materials, like a lot of it is painted in, like the AO, the whatever. So let's see. Oh, also I wanted to get rid of this scratch right here. Let me do that right now while I'm thinking of it, because it's just like way too overpowering. So what image is that on? Let's see, I think it's on this one. Alright, let's go to texture paint, copy that, make sure we're painting on rear sight scuffs. Change to texture draw, and yeah, just delete this. Alright, go back to object mode, save. Alright, that looks better, I think. Alright, now let's do the mag. So let's just see how this material, we go to receiver, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers. Alright, yeah, I wanna mute that. I added that just to see if the roughness needed more contrast, which I don't think it did. Okay. Actually, I think it looks better with the contrast. Alright, let's save. Always save. And now we will copy this material tree, come to our mag, our lower mag, and paste it. And instead of doing the input maps like this, like replacing them, I just want to copy this material like layer by layer. I think that'll be easier because it's such a complex one. So right now, what do we have? Let's group that. Group this, and we'll just call it lower, or just call it mag normal. Change the color to normal map color, and save. And let's start copying. So spec, they're about the same. The initial roughness is exactly the same. Alright, the next layer looks like we already have it pretty much exactly. Now the third layer, what is this? What is this? Let's see, switch. Alright, so that's because we copied it, so this is totally unnecessary. Let's just remove that, and that is this layer right here. But now we have a grunge layer, so we'll copy and paste, and let's just cut those, and we will just plug that into our, essentially what is our layer stack. Alright, so we got our grunge, and then after that is the switch. Then we have this effects dots 1, which I'll just show you what it is. It's dots 1 image, which I think I showed earlier, but I'll show it again. Actually, I'll just show it in Blender. We can dots 1, it just looks like that. So let's copy, paste, spec, skips this. When I designed these, I wasn't really sure of how to use specular, but you know, now I am, so just keep it like that. Okay, that's that layer. Then next we have, what does this node group do? Looks like edgeware. So I didn't think this really had edgeware. Alright, so all this is doing receiver curvature mask. Alright, so that just slightly added to the color and added quite a bit to the roughness. So knowing that, we could do the same thing, but we'll just come to slot 2. And I think this is our edgeware. Alright, up to here. We could probably just copy this and we'll be fine. So now let's go to slot 3. Bring that out. Make a new layer. We want spec on spec, normal on normal, rough on rough. Alright, now let's paste this. See how that looks. Alright, we might actually be better off copying the whole thing, so we'll just go to slot 2, at least up to here. So copy and paste. Alright, and this should have pretty much no edgeware because we didn't paint on it. But let's just grab this, we'll press L, and then we want to go into texture paint, and we want to paint on this image. Let's put this back to view mode. Same thing on this. Alright, let's just make sure it's working. Yep. And let's turn on our, okay, make sure include. And now we would just want to fill this with black, so we'll do, or we'll fill it with white first, see how that looks. So we can do, I think it's Shift K. If not, we can just, oh, we have to use the fill tool. Shift K is for vertex colors, so let's just fill. And alright, now let's go to texture paint and we'll fill it with black actually. And then go to our text draw brush with white, and let's go, I wanna just paint on all up here. Okay, just make sure that's masked. And then we want to paint edgeware up on here. Just make a soft brush. Just need to make it a hard brush so we can erase that. And this. Now let's just draw on. Alright, actually, I think we can just fill this all in, because it's not actually metal edgeware, it's just like a regular, you know, like worn edges, not dug in edges. So where is that? That's right here. So we want to add and add. So I'll just duplicate that and copy that number. Come on, get inside. There we go. Put that in there, paste the number. Let's plug that in. See how that looks. So there's before, after. And here we got before and after. See how everything's looking. I think that's good. Might be a little intense, like a little blocky right here. So what we can do, let's go back to texture paint. Crap. I shouldn't have deleted that, but it's easy to fix. Copy these. Drop them back in. Alright, and let's just use I'll just use, let's see, my collection of grunge brushes is not, I don't think it's big enough yet, so we'll just kinda compromise. I think this one might be good. Make sure we're painting with black. And we can kind of erase with some texture. Okay, especially on this side. Definitely want to add some breakup. Like there. Let's rotate that. Alright, let's actually change textures to something like this. Alright, let's, okay, make sure we're erasing. And we can go to our, this one, make sure we're erasing. Yeah, and really just gonna go crazy with this because right now it's just way too big. Okay, let's go to this one. Should be able to kind of erase this by creating horizontal strokes. You can see what that's doing. Do some the other way. Alright, now let's see how that looks. I think we should tone down the roughness. So like it's still there, but it's more subtle. Let's save that image. Make sure we go to our upper mag and select the material. Alright, let that load, and now let's come out. Let that load, compile all the textures and the shaders. Alright. For some reason our receiver is not shaded. Let's see, how far are we in? An hour. It's 8:30. We can keep going though. And yeah, this is looking pretty good. That could definitely be toned down. Same thing with these, so let's do that while I'm kind of aware of the topic. So that was on our AO dirt mask. I think we did that inside with this. Yeah, you can see. So we want to paint on this image, so let's find it in there. Go to texture paint, find it in here. Right, and then go to text draw, right? And I think black is what, or white is what as subtracted. So low strength. Just hit that. Hit that a couple times. Let's come here. Rotate this. Let's change that to this. Alright. For some reason I lost my extra HDRIs. What's the deal with that? Install. I think it's in my music folder in here. I just put them in with the other ones. So .hdr. Alright, there we go. Alright. I want to go back to texture paint. Kind of hit that some more. Actually, let's, I don't know why it's gray, so just kind of hit it like that. Okay, save that. Let's see what else to do. Let's add some of this ambient occlusion, you know, dirt to the Picatinny. And let's also, let me see a reference. I want to make this a darker color than the rest of the magazine, or I mean the receiver. Okay, we need to do the screws. Let's do the screws right now. So let's come to screws. Search for grunge 1. Let's bring in this image texture. It's called grunge. I think it was this one. Let's just search in here. I think it was this right here. Yeah, I want to use that. And this. Something like that. And then this, make sure we have box mapping. something like that. Alright, and let's start layering. So first thing is just mix RGB, I guess. We'll just pass on the normal. Probably pass on the spec too. Or just hit Control X. And just come here. And I'll change this to overlay. But like just really slightly. Do the same thing with this. This one can be, let me focus on this. We can just keep that at 0.5. See how that looks. And I want to bring the brightness down. Where's my reference? For this screw. It's right there. And desaturate it. So desaturate it. And bring the brightness down. Was like there. Alright. And let's just add another layer of grunge. Just to give it some more texture. We'll do this one. This one's, you know, more like broad. So overlay's probably not the best choice because this image isn't really centered around 0.5. But, you know, whatever, works fine. The biggest color change should probably come from the ambient occlusion dirt mask. So we'll just have to add that. Alright, let that load. We can just bring that up all the way. Make sure this is, you know, a layer in our stack. I only call it layers because I think that makes it easier for people to understand. You know, you're probably familiar with layers in GIMP, Krita, Photoshop, and even Substance Painter. I don't have Substance Painter, but the workflow, we're trying to emulate it. So let's add some of that AO dirt. And what I mean by like emulate it is, you know, we're trying to do all the same things like edge masking, like intelligently, the AO dirt masking. I think the techniques are probably very similar, but like behind the scenes, the way they accomplish it, they don't accomplish it just through magic. You have to bake your curvature and your ambient occlusion, just like we did. So let me grab the receiver. I think it's this one. Yep. So we'll just grab that. We'll just grab this whole setup. Copy. And let's paste. So first we'll see that. Looks pretty good. We could probably expand it. Looks good there. But we definitely want to paint in some of our own, so we'll have to make that unique. But first, let's just get it set up. So let's bring that up to here. Plug in our, our inputs. Let's full screen this. This is spec. Okay, make sure we get rid of specular tint. And I was just thinking about this earlier. It's not really important, but I don't really know if our metal should have any specular, because in the PBR spec gloss workflow, For metals, you just put black in the albedo, and you put what is this? Oh, this is our bottom nodes. So like our second material. And let's, yeah, just get rid of that because we didn't end up using it. Okay, because in the PBR spec gloss workflow, albedo is just black, right? And metals, you put the color into the spec texture. I'm pretty sure. I'm not as familiar with spec gloss as I am with metal rough, but I don't know. It's just kind of an aside I was thinking about. So let's view this, see how it looks. So before, after. Let's plug that in. I think that looks pretty good, but we should probably add some extras. So let's grab that, make it unique, enter the node group, and let's kind of analyze what's going on here. So we got our AO dirt mask, which I think we could just paint on that. Yeah, we could definitely just paint on that. So let's go to preview that, and let's preview this. Right now it's black on this, pretty much. Actually, this is a unique one. I think it would just be easier if we just, instead of doing this, like right here. Actually, no. Yes, let's do this. So let's just try it out. So let's save. Go to texture paint mode. We want to paint on this image. Go to text draw, and we want to paint with black. Or maybe white. I guess not. Discard that. So let's see, right now we've got that as our AO. And we want to, let's change to overlay. You know what, let's just create a completely new setup right here. That'll probably just be the easiest way to do it. So that's our AO. And we want to create a new image texture. Let's call this like screw AO. And let's make sure we're painting on screw AO. And screw AO should be 0.5. Right, and let's do mix RGB. Let's just view this. We'll set that to overlay. You can see overlay doesn't do anything. So it doesn't do anything when we have 0.5. So now if we paint, let's just paint black. Make sure we're painting on this. Alright, we are. Let's check this out. Alright, so maybe we should multiply. Because we want to add some darkness. So let's discard that, set it to 1. And now come to our AO result, and we just want to use a soft brush and kind of hit the corners around here. See, that's kind of working well. And these all share UVs, so it should just copy over. Let's see how this looks. Alright, so we could probably tone it down. Let's go back to texture paint. Let's flip. So to set our texture really soft, and just kinda bring it back. Right, and let's save this. Alright, I think that's good. And I think we need to add this right here, the left and the right. I'll make a stamp for that in a off video, and then we'll stamp it in. So let's make sure this and the Picatinny material all have the dirt AO, because that really added a lot to this receiver. So yeah, I'm gonna do some things. I'm gonna make this texture, I'm gonna call it at the end of this episode, but I'm gonna make this texture, I'll make a normal map stamp, one of these. Those are fine. What else? In the next episode, we'll put AO dirt on these pieces. We'll have to create a directional metal, because if we look, that's what that looks like. And right now ours is very simple. We should probably. Did we add AO to this mag? Alright, we didn't. So we need to do that. And let's just check. Let's grab that. I want to see what this looks like. So let's separate RGB. Yeah, so we could definitely add some dirt in here. Alright, so let me write this down in Notepad. So to do mag AO dirt, we'll just call this to do, make sure it's in our MP7 folder, right? Okay, mag AO dirt, what's that called? Bolt directional metal. Okay, this one. So that's the site adjust stamp. Alright, make sure it's real material. What else? Alright, we need to change this to a darker rubber. So change foregrip, darker rubber. Same thing with this back piece. Seems to be the same material from what I can tell. I thought maybe it wasn't, but it definitely is. So we need to set this darker back material on stock. What else? Okay, AO dirt on the sights. And I think once we do all that, we'll have everything covered. So I'll see you in the next one. I hope you learned some good techniques about how to, create grunge textures. We kind of briefly talked about that, and just kind of texturing in Blender. So I'll see you in the next one. Alright, goodbye.